Everybody, Chris here, and if you'll take a look at the screen here for module number 3, I think it is, it looks like we've jumped a considerable amount from the last video to this one. That is because technology has failed me. I was drawing this whole thing out, explaining away, rambling on, and realized that the recording software I was using crashed. First time ever it's happened with this one. It's actually a fantastic recording software, all online, but it crashed on me. And so rather than going back to where I was, because I can't even really remember exactly how things were positioned, I figured I would just go ahead and cut out a lot of the rambling, go over what I have here on the screen, and maybe just show you bits and pieces of where I got some of these icons. If that's okay with you, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let me zoom in so we can see things just a little bit better. Okay, so let's just review a little bit. We had people opting in for an offer. We're sending them that offer in this email. We're also triggering a sequence. We'll go over that here in a minute. And after they opt in, they're redirected to an offer. Remember, we ended up changing this to an offer. So this is now an offer. We're trying to sell them something. So after they opt in, we try to sell them something, okay? Now, what this email sequence is going to do, the purpose of it is to actually, just trying to move this down a little bit so we can see my squiggly arrows a little bit more clearly. The purpose of each of these emails, I have 2 of them here, is to sell them on this offer if they did not buy it. That's the purpose of these emails. And I just have 2 here, for example, but you could do 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want, all with the same purpose of getting those folks back to this offer. Okay? So obviously, we don't want to be sending them emails if they have already purchased. So they could have opted in, and when the page was redirected, they would have said, oh yeah, I'd like to buy that too, and just went ahead and made that purchase. So next time they go back to their email, if they've made the purchase, they should receive this email for what they opted in for. And they should probably, we'll just copy and paste this here, they should probably also receive an email for what they just purchased after they purchased. So that's shown just like this. Remember I said all of the lead magnet delivery emails and purchase receipt emails will just kind of shoot off to the left because they're kind of one-off emails. And all the larger, longer sequences will keep off to the right because they come back to pages and things. And we just want to eliminate some of the confusion and keep it looking clean and nice and organized, okay? All right, so let's take a look at this sequence. If they've made this purchase, we do not want them to get these emails. So what we're going to do is we are going to wait 1 day. And I can't click on any of my icons because I got this other thing. I'm just going to take that and move it all the way to the back. There we go. Now I can click specifically on this. So this right here, this round circle, and I'll show you where I got that. If you just come up to Shapes, go to Shapes, go to this oval icon, click Shift, at least it's that way on a Mac, and you can draw out a perfect, you can draw out a perfect shape that way. And I'm just clicking on things and deleting things and being distracted by my notifications here. Sorry about that. But anyway, up here, Shapes, Circle, hold down Shift, whatever it is on your computer, and drag a perfect circle any size you want to. And I try to keep everything about the same size here. And then we just put the stylings on that. We went up to transparent. We went up to line thickness of 2. We went up to red for the line color. And then I put, as you can see, a number 1 in there. And we changed that to, once again, the smallest font size. And also in this case, we centered the text in the middle of the icon. So what that represents is sort of like it's round, so that's my symbol for a clock. This is a period of time that it's going to wait. So I put a 1 in there showing that it's going to wait 1 day. You could put, you could do this by hours, you could do whatever you want to do. You could use a completely different icon. This is just how I do it, and I'm just explaining the process the whole way through. So this represents 1 day wait time. So what we're going to do is wait 1 day after they've opted in to check and see if they've purchased. And so this is the shape that I use for any conditional questions, anything extra that's not a page or an email or anything like that. I usually put it in this kind of box here. It's kind of similar shape to what would be used in Drip or ActiveCampaign or software like that. So you come up here to shapes, and I just get this little guy with the rounded corners and draw out a shape just like that. There you have it, and do the same stylings as we did with everything else. These other two icons represent a yes for green and a plus sign, and a no that's red and an X. So what that's doing is giving me a yes and a no answering this question. Purchased? So I'm asking, did they purchase? That's what I'm looking for. Another way to put this would be, do they have the purchase tag or a tag showing that they've purchased this? And however you get that depends on your software you use, depends on your systems that you're using and so forth. And we're not going over software in this in this whole course. We're just talking about the blueprinting. But basically, we want to just check in whatever way, shape, or form we're doing that. Did they make the purchase? Yes or no? And if not, that's when we want to send this email. So let's just go ahead and show you where we got these icons. Again, I like to keep everything right here inside of Google Draw for consistency, for control, for all of that. Let's go right here. You see this little X? That's the guy. And again, I just held down Shift, just drew him out like that. And when it first comes out, actually, you have one that is blue and just like the rest of them, but it's keeping this formatting since I've already made one. You will fill it in with the red, and I like to keep the outline of this one to be black, as you can see here. Plus sign, the green plus sign, same thing. Come up to shapes, and it's right here next to the X. So again, I could have used yes or no words, I could have used different icons, but this seemed like the easiest thing to do. An X and it's red for no, a plus and a green, that means yes. And so if it's no, they get this email. Try to sell them on this again. And then what are we going to do? We're going to wait another day. And when that next day comes, we're going to check to see if they purchased again. If they still haven't purchased, if the answer is no, we're going to send them another email, and so on and so forth, however many emails you want to do that. With the yes path, you'll notice it follows this dotted line. Remember, dotted is a background thing. It's not a direct path. It's not a link. It's what's happening in the background. If they did purchase, remember, we don't want them to get these emails, so it's going to shoot them over here, follow the dotted line, over to success. Now, success means, they brought them to the end of this automation. It's going to end this automation. They're not going to get anything that's here. We skipped over all that. And then what I usually do is I take another one of these dotted line arrows and I draw it to whatever the next thing is. So if we've got another offer, an upsell, or some other sequence that we want to send them through, we take them to the next thing. Now, if something can be successful, purchase or no purchase, something can also fail. So success if they purchased, fail if they didn't. So if they made it through all your emails and they still hadn't purchased, and you don't plan on sending any more because you've tried enough, we'll consider that a fail. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it learning experience if that makes you feel better. But I tend to call it fail. They did not purchase. At this point, even if I have more upsells and things in the funnel, other products and services and whatnot, I'll just remove them from this funnel altogether. And I'll put them in my main list sort of sequence where they're going to be getting my newsletters or my daily emails or whatever else it is that I'm sending to everybody, not specifically somebody who opted in for something specific and was presented a specific offer. So if there's upsells and downsells from there, if there's other things in your value ladder in this particular funnel,